Tomorrow night at Crescent Fort Rouge United Church, there will be a really fascinating concert of music written for percussion ensemble. The Fresh Blood Project 2 is an innovative and exciting percussion group that was founded in 2019. The mandate of the Fresh Blood Project is to collaborate with composers, with the idea being that the composers would write new music for the ensemble and have the group perform these pieces. This is an initiative that is partially supported by Winnipeg's premier new music organization, Groundswell, and the concert tomorrow night is sure to be fantastic. Here to tell us more about tomorrow night's concert is Fresh Blood's founder, Cameron Denby. Hi, Cameron. Great to have you
Hi.
here.
Hi, great to be here.
I thought I would start out the conversation by just asking you about the Fresh Blood Project. How did it come about, and why was it formed?
When I was finishing grad school in the States, there was an event called the Hot Air Music Festival, which is it's a similar kind of event, but it's not just percussion. It's all kinds of new music. They rent out the whole school, and they have the three main performance halls. Throughout the day, there's different sessions. So in the morning, you go to one space and you see a bunch of new pieces. Then you take a break, you have a snack. Then you go to the next space, and you go to the middle of the afternoon. There's another show, and then in the evening, there's a big like a showcase kind of concert where they get a larger ensemble and some bigger pieces. But the sessions in the morning are all new. A lot of it's new music that it's all premiered or it's all not played very often. So it's stuff you've never really heard before. The showcase in the evening was usually, I think they do some more common stuff. We played music for 18 musicians. But I really like the idea of an event just designed to showcase a bunch of new music that no one's heard before. It gives emerging people a chance to play, and it gives composers a chance to write and have their music actually played. So I wanted to make an event like that we could have in Winnipeg.
Absolutely. Can you tell me about the name Fresh Blood? Where does that come from?
The first concert was actually on Halloween in 2019. So when I was originally making
Okay.
it, I just wanted to get some cool new music and have it kind of funky and fun. But it started to sort of pick up momentum, and the more momentum it got, the more people were in, and the more seriously I had to take the concert. But I had initially picked the Fresh Blood Project as a name because it just sounded cool for Halloween. But it stuck around because I think it kind of goes with the idea that we're trying to get. It's new people writing new music to be played by other new people. It's not just the same music over and over again.
Mhm. And I'm wondering, is it up and coming composers that you're collaborating with, or is it established composers as well?
It's emerging composers and it's emerging performers. It's people who are starting to sort of get into the scene or trying to figure out what they want to do in the community. So it's sort of I don't want to call it a stepping stone, but it's for emerging artists.
Yeah, and emerging composers. Can you talk about some of the composers whose music is going to be performed tomorrow night, and maybe give us a little bit of background as to who the composers are?
Yeah, of course. We've got two local composers, and then we have two international. So the two local composers are Rebecca Schrader and Kiara Nathaniel, who are both students at the University of Manitoba. I've worked with them a couple times in the past, including Kiara wrote a piece for the first Fresh Blood concert in 2019. And then the other two composers are one is Chin Chin Jin, who is currently based in San Francisco, and Steph Davis, who is based out of Boston. Steph is a percussionist who writes very unique and exciting percussion music, and Chin Chin is actually a composer who her training is on. It's I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm not going to try, but it's sort of a Chinese. So her music is very different from a lot of other percussion music.
Mhm. Percussion instruments can create such a huge variety of sounds. When the Fresh Blood Project works with the composers, do you specify what instruments the composers can write for, or do you just sort of leave it up to the composer?
The first go around, I had a very loose set of rules for the composers. I basically said I want the piece to be for 1 to 8 people and 5 to 10 minutes long. That was all they had. And we ended up with a really cool program because it was all really different, but we also ended up with a mountain of equipment we had to haul around.
Right.
Um, so for this one, I wanted to keep things a little tighter so it would be easier. I wanted a smaller ensemble. I wanted smaller instruments, or a smaller group of instruments, so we didn't have to do these big elaborate moves and setups. We could just have one group of instruments for the whole thing. So all of the pieces for this show, it's for 4 players, and we got 2 people on marimbas and 2 people on vibraphones. So it's one small, myself and 3 others are going to play everything. So it's a lot more compact this time instead of this big full stage of toys.
Yes, right. I mean, that's one of the things that goes along with being a percussionist. There's always tons of gear that needs to get loaded in and out. Um,
Yeah, we definitely have our share of equipment this time, but it's four really big things instead of
yes,
a million small ones.
many small things. Can you tell us about some of the pieces that are going to be performed?
I can. We have the four new pieces. I don't want to tell you too much about them, just to keep the excitement of the premieres. But the other half of the program, beside the new pieces, is there's a bunch of music that I've taken from its original setting of either piano or orchestra, and I've arranged it for the ensemble of marimbas and vibraphones. So we've got
Great.
some ragtime, so two Scott Joplin pieces from, I think they're both from the 20s or around there. So
Mhm.
they got some nice, cute little piano ragtime that we'll play. There's we also have one of Vivaldi's concertos for lute, two violins, and continuo. So that's been broken up into the ensemble.
Oh,
And then we
cool.
also have a piece by Lecuona, the Cuban composer.
Yep.
So we're playing a couple
Ernesto.
movements.
Yeah.
Ernesto, correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna play a couple movements from his Andalucia suite.
Oh, yeah. And I know his piano music very well.
So
It's
yeah,
great. It'd be interesting to hear how that sounds on the mallet percussion. That's for sure. Am I right in understanding that the project is partially supported by Groundswell? And if so, how did that partnership come about? Am I right in that?
you are correct. Yeah, Groundswell. We are part of the Groundswell has. It's called the Ground Floor Initiative. So it started with they were house concerts that they put on a few years ago. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it was very successful. They had smaller, more intimate kind of settings, and then that developed into I think they were called the Sound Yard concerts. Where after that, so they got really excited about having these um, smaller, more intimate concerts, usually with emerging people leading everything. So when I heard that they were interested in those kinds of things, I thought that when I was putting this first one together, as the first concert got more and more elaborate, I realized I couldn't do it all on my own. So I reached out to Groundswell and see if they'd be interested in giving us some support, and they did. So when I
Right.
decided that we were going to go around for the second concert, I reached out to them again, and fortunately for me, they're still carrying on the ground floor initiative. So that's where that support came from. I reached out to them for the first concert, and it was
That's
a huge help for us.
Yeah, that's great. Groundswell has been around for many years. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary this year, and they certainly know the landscape of the new music scene here in Winnipeg. Did you, aside from reaching out for them for support, did you talk to anybody at Groundswell about some of the possibilities that the ensemble could take advantage of?
There wasn't too much. They're not so much helping us put everything together as just it's promotional support, and it's a little bit of financial help as well. It's not so much as yeah, we're still on our own as far as making the show happen, or I
Right.
am. I guess I'm on my own, but they're giving us some help with sort of expanding our reach as to who we can um, be make aware of our show.
It's amazing. Um, I also understand that the Fresh Blood Project is running an online fundraising campaign. If people want to donate to the campaign to keep this thing going, which sounds so amazing, where can they go for that?
Right now, there's not too many. There is a fundraiser on Facebook that I've been trying to push. It's hard. They make it really hard to push these kinds of things on social media, just because it disappears in everyone's feed. So right now, the easiest way to support the project is going to be just to go
Go to the
and
concert.
then go to the concert. And if you can't make it to the concert or you're not comfortable being at the concert, we are live streaming it as well, and that will be on my YouTube channel, which will just be under my name. Um, so the easiest way to find things will be you could find my page on Facebook or on YouTube as well, which is where the stream will be.
So just if listeners go to YouTube and just type in Cameron Denby, they can they can access that. Uh, it sounds so great. Uh, this sounds like a really interesting concert. Percussion ensemble, creating new music and getting this stuff performed. It sounds just so great, and there's so many great sound worlds for percussion. Cameron, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me today. So it sounds like it's going to be a great concert on tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks for having me.